Hey folks, this is Man once again. Welcome back to another Van Damme movie review for my Van Damme marathon of May, the month of my birthday. And I reviewed Bloodsport, and I figure I'll review the second time Jean-Claude Van Damme and Bolo Yeung got together, these two. And that is the 1991 film Double Impact. And yes, I will say this DVD sucks. I mean, this cover is one of the laziest covers. Because I like the theatrical poster, where you had the two twins side by side. If I find it, I'll be the picture. You when you do a review and you can put a picture on it, that'll be it. But this is such a lazy cover. Even the DVD itself is just blue and red, and there's no features. It's just a trailer. Like most of Van Damme's films, there's no features on it. And again, this is such a lazy cover. And Double Impact is a fun movie. I mean, this review from LA Times says it best. Slam bang action, Double Impact delivers the goods. And it's true. Entertaining film. I know at one point Van Damme wanted to do a sequel. Honest, the way action films are nowadays and the way recent Van Damme films are nowadays, he doesn't need to do a sequel to this. Have a special edition. Not only this, but a lot of Van Damme's films, but that's never going to happen. Now, Jean-Claude Van Damme actually had a hand in the screenplay of this. I didn't realize until watching this again. Not only was he one of the producers, but yeah, he wrote this with Sheldon Lettich. I guess he also helped come up with the story as well. But yeah, Sheldon Lettich and Jean-Claude Van Damme wrote this, and Sheldon Lettich directed it. Now, Sheldon Lettich, he's worked with Van Damme a lot. You look up his filmography, he directed, I believe, Lionheart as well, and The Order with Jean-Claude Van Damme, which is a film I like. He had a hand somewhat in Bloodsport. He had a hand somewhat in editing Cyborg. I mean, Sheldon Lettich has worked with Van Damme a lot. And I can't remember if this is Sheldon Lettich's first film he directed, but I thought he did a really good job with this. And the plot, to put it simply, two twins who are separated because at the beginning of the film their parents are murdered pretty brutally, and one of them is in Hong Kong, the other's taken to, I believe, France and then LA by Jeffrey Lewis, who is no longer with us. May he rest in peace. Jeffrey Lewis, I believe the father of Juliette Lewis, and I remember him in Clint Eastwood films like Every Which Way But Loose, Any Which Way You Can, but this is the role I remember him the most as, Uncle Frank. And pretty much they get back together and they decide to kick some ass, the two twins. And I know Van Damme has done a couple movies dealing with twins. Maximum Risk, in a way, deals with that. The Replicant deals with that. I would say this is the best, though, dealing with Van Damme, double the Van Dammage type of plot. I'd even say, I know Jackie Chan did a film with twins called Twin Dragons. I like this film more than Twin Dragons. I like some of the action scenes. I really do. But I think this is a better movie. I think this is a more entertaining movie than Twin Dragons. And the opening actually works out well because you have this family, you have this father and wife, and you have two twin babies. Of course, his two is twins. And you have a nanny, and then Jeffrey Lewis is sort of a guy who's friends with the father, and they open up this underground tunnel, sort of I don't know if it's quite an aqueduct, but it's sort of underground tunnel, and pretty much the family is hit. Jeffrey Lewis is racing his car to get there, and you do have pretty bloody practical squibs in this film. You definitely have that. And now that I think about it, I think Sheldon Lettich also directed Only the Strong and wrote Rambo 3, or helped write Rambo 3. Now that I was thinking of Sheldon Lettich's name, so he's done a lot of good stuff. But getting back to the opening, where you see this family get mowed down pretty much. The father gets hit with practical bullet squibs, and even the mom gets hit. And then Bolo Yeung comes in. He's sort of the lead henchman, has a shotgun. And she says, "Oh, what will happen to my babies?" And he's cold-blooded as a son of a bitch. Just, well, you'll never know. just shoots her. You don't see her get shot, but you see, you know, the remains. Not like Maniac style. I mean, Jeffrey Lewis gets there and he sees the bodies, and you see quite a bit of blood on the bodies. And pretty much the nanny takes one baby. Jeffrey Lewis just, you know, shoots a couple. They do practical blood squibs. Shoots Bolo Yeung in the face, who then comes up and shoots Jeffrey Lewis in the shoulder. So the nanny took one, and Jeffrey Lewis took one. Like I said, the nanny, I didn't say, but they get separated. The nanny takes it to, I guess, I don't know what you call it, where nuns are, French nuns, and they take the baby in. Then Jeffrey Lewis takes the baby he's got with him. And what's really good about the film, not only are the action scenes, the fight scenes very well done and plentiful, and the editing is very well done, and the action scenes, the fight scenes, they definitely know how to do that. But I think Van Damme actually does a really good job acting-wise, because he's playing two characters, and you definitely see a difference. Not only appearance-wise, I mean, you have Alex, who was raised on the streets of Hong Kong. He's got slick black hair. He's got a cigar. He's much lower voiced. He doesn't know martial arts. He'll fight with his fists, or hit people in the throat, or he's the more type of guy who uses guns. Then you have Chad, who's in LA, who's totally different, just sort of a California, you know, got his hair puffed up, wearing these weird clothes, including, I swear, pink shorts. And the first scene is he's teaching a dance class, and I don't blame him. He's feeling up a woman who is very nice. Because of this in karate, I can do splits no problem. And all the women are gawking at him, and Jeffrey Lewis is like, hey, I need you in karate class. He's like this? And he goes right in. And even he admits, yeah, I have this like blue spandex outfit. And you have this guy, you know, this new guy fucking around, who I guess fucked up another guy who's got, you know, some swollen stuff. That didn't sound right. On his face. And Van Damme, oh yeah, you know, why don't you show me one of your kids? You want me to show you one of my kids? Yeah, show me one of your kids. Van Damme blocks him, just boom, whips him in the face. I like his reaction. Ooh, like Dear Mattel. Ooh. And pretty much Jeffrey Lewis, who had hired some people, found out that the other twin, Alex, where he's at, decides to tell Chad at least some of the story. Says, we're going to Hong Kong. They get over there. And of course, when he gets there, some people look at him because they think he's Alex. One guy comes up pissed, and then, boom. He's like, well, what happens? He gave me money. I love Hong Kong. Like, I mean, there's two different people, even though Van Damme's playing, you know, it's Van Damme playing both of them. Like the Chad character from California, he's very bubbly. Maybe that's the right word for it. He's very, you know, all smiles, you know, going on the phone. You know, you can talk to me. You know, I'm a good guy. Like, he's that type of guy. Then Alice is much more street. He's much more pissed off and angry, and, you know, chewing on cigar. Like, I think Van Damme actually does a good job acting wise. And this girl pulls him in. He's like, oh, what's going on? And opens up his shorts. Ooh, black silk underwear. Any more surprises? And Van Damme's like, yeah, big surprise. Huge surprise. And he turns around, there's his twin, Alice, who headbutts his ass. And then he's talking to the girl, and he's like, you see, you thought that was me? I would never in my life wear black silk underwear. Look at him, a faggot. And this is where, I've said this before in BS cast and such, this is the film I get this line of dialogue, which I'm going to jump to before the third act of the film, where the Alex character is drunk because he thinks his twin Chad slept with his woman. That didn't happen. And Jeffrey Lewis says, you're drunk. And Alex goes, yeah, I'm drunk. And tomorrow I'll be sober. But he'll always be a faggot. And I love saying that line because I love Van Damme's phrasing and his accent and everything about that scene, it makes me laugh every time. So I do say that it's not PC. It's not to offend anyone who happens to be gay. I have no problems with that. I just love the line delivery. I love it. That's really the only reason why. Just the way he says it. Yeah, I'm drunk. Tomorrow I'll be sober. But I'll always be a fuckers. Like he says with such conviction. I just love the line delivery. That's what it is. I love the line delivery of it. And even getting back here where Jeffrey Lewis is telling him all this stuff and Alex goes, "You're full of shit." I'm pretty much convincing that you guys really are twins, which I'm like, why would it take that much to convince? Just look in the mirror. And it's not too shabby, the effect of when they're in the same scene. It's not too shabby. For a low budget film, I don't know what the budget for this was, but I'm sure it was not that huge. In 1991, it's pretty decent. It's not going to have a Terminator 2 budget. But it looks alright. Didn't look that bad at all. And pretty much to figure out what to do. Gotta get back on these guys, mainly these two bad guys. I think one's bad guy is Griffith, and the other is Zane. And then one leads to another. Van Damme, the Alex character takes Chad and Jeffrey Lewis with them on this deal on a boat. Going to give these guys these cars and shit in the trunk. But then cops come in. You get a bit of an action scene. Again, it shows the two different. Van Damme, the Chad one, is more martial arts oriented, while Alex, he's more headbutts, or he'll hit you in the throat or use guns and such. You also have this tension between the two brothers, like I said before. Later on, Alex thinks that Chad is messing with his woman, which is not the case. And so Alex is always pissed off when Chad is talking to his woman, like they're eating, I think, frog legs or something. And Chad goes, "What? I mean, what's it supposed to do? Make my dick bigger?" And they're all laughing, and Alex is just like... So I grew up with the film, but there was quite a few moments where I chuckled at it. And then Chad gets mistaken for Alex, and they want him to do something. He says no, and he beats up a couple people with his martial arts, but he gets beat up by Bolo Yeung. And that comes into effect to a really good fight scene at the end. This scene here, which I'll get to, definitely. I previously had to figure out where they need to go. So Alex knows this abandoned hotel, like in the middle of nowhere, which that actually seems like a pretty cool place. I mean, it's a shithole, but the fact that it really looks like an abandoned, gigantic hotel in the middle of nowhere. It's like, wow, that'd be a nice find for anyone. And you get a little back and forth between the two brothers. Chad, looking at a gun, says, "I think he got ripped off." Alice gets it, shoots. Poof, poof, poof. Look good to me. And you get some really good action scenes. I mean, you get this scene where there's this deal going on this pier, and even Alex tells Chad, "Don't fuck up." And you have the Chad character using the machine gun, using his martial arts. You have, before Hard Target, Van Damme shooting with two guns. Pew, 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 pew. Alex with his slick back hair. Pew, pew, pew. Practical bloody squibs. Even going on the floor and doing a roll while shooting the two guns. Like, pew, 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 pew. Well edited, well shot, not confusing. No bad editing. The music is fine. I'm trying to see who did the music for this. It's probably not going to say here, so I'm wasting time. But, oh well. People can look it up on Wikipedia or IMDb anyway. But I thought the story was fine. But even, you have a scene where Van Damme has a gun, he's upside down, he shoots a guy. They've put up these bombs, and Jeffrey Lewis has a sniper rifle just in case, and the twins get in the truck, and Chad's on the door, and there's a guy coming, he kicks the guy while he's on the door, and he gets in, and he's like, "Yeah." we did it. And Alex is like, did what? You fucked up. So I thought, in a way, this is a buddy movie. It's actually a pretty fun buddy movie. It's just Van Damme playing both parts. It's kind of interesting, to be honest. Kind of different. That's not something typical. You know, you have a buddy movie where the guy plays both parts. And I thought Van Damme actually did a pretty decent job with it. You have another good action scene where the bad guys are at this club and they're delivering these boxes that have bombs in them, and you know one of them blow up, and Alex, yeah, I want to see what is Alex does he do? There's this thing where he takes like a shot glass and he drinks it and he breaks it in his hand and throws the pieces away, and then he just getting bottles and smashing them in people's faces like, ah, just smashing quick, efficient bottles to the face in people. I mean, it's not like blood gushing down, but it's like, ooh, the impact. No pun intended. I mean, this is definitely an R-rated movie. And then you have the Chad character, doing his martial arts, kicking a guy through the window and through the glass. They get out there. It gets to a point where Alex's girlfriend is in trouble and Chad's trying to get, where's everyone at? And no one's there, so he goes off to save the girl. And you have a little bit of a foot chase through these boats on this pier. And again, Van Damme, back in the day, you would have fight scenes and even little bits where he kicks a guy. And the martial arts editing, the choreography, the usage of slow-mo, not using it over the top, but using it effectively and efficiently. The different angles, just delivering a kick that shows impact, that shows, no pun intended, that shows, a lot of times people just fight and you just go whatever. Here, they show that intensity during it, whether it be sound effects or editing or whoever you want to put the, whatever you want to say is exactly the case, but they just, even little things work well during the little bits of fight scenes. It's hard to explain. It's better to show, but of course YouTube won't do that with copyright. And this is where it did in that scene where Alex, gets a couple clues and is then thinking in his head, oh, they're having sex, and you get some nudity from the girl. I mean, the girl acting-wise is there, but the nudity-wise, hotter than Megan Fox, just really hot, titties and all, and she showed her titties, so that's 2 over Megan Fox, and plus, this girl's made more good movies than Megan Fox. I don't think Megan Fox has ever made a good movie, but this girl was in this movie, and that's good, and she showed her tits, and they're better tits, and she has a better face. Which is my prerogative. And you get to see those tits in that sex scene. And an interesting idea. And the way they do it is that the sex scene, it's in different colors to show that that's in his mind, while in reality, Chad's just driving the boat and she's just getting, cleaned up. And that's where you get that scene where they both fight. And it's really good editing because, it's only one Van Damme, but it's both of them fighting each other. And the way they edit it are very well done. So, oh, here's Van Damme. Oh, it's this shot. Now that's gotta be Van Damme. And just the amount of time it took to, the Alice character looks like he's got a little bit of hair on his face and slick his hair back, and how they get that set up for each shot. It's like, I wonder how they did that. I wonder how they how they shot that. I mean, it must have taken a bit of time. Of course, a documentary would have been good, but we don't have anything. And I think Van Damme does especially a good job as the Alex character. I mean, when he's before that happens, he's imagining what's going on in his head, imagining what's happened to his girl with his brother. There's a moment he dreams like, you motherfucker! And just spits as he's saying it, you motherfucker. Like, he said that with a lot of conviction. It's like, oh shit, don't fuck with Van Damme. Like, he knows how to say motherfucker in that scene. You motherfucker! Motherfucker! Again, like I said, they did in this fight where he's drunk and Chad's fighting back, and that's where he says that line, "Yeah, I'm drunk. Tomorrow I'll be sober, but you'll always be our fuckers." And they both split up to sort of, clean up, so to speak. The bad guys know where they are. They get Jeffrey Lewis. They get the girl. They go away. And pretty much you have both of the twins taking people out one by one. Alice, hitting a guy in the throat and hitting him in the chest. Do this thing, this cool sort of takedown that also breaks the guy's neck. I'm not sure how to show it, but just grabbing the guy and then breaking his neck at the same time. That was really cool how he did that. He was shooting the shit out of a guy. Um, a lot of ass kicking in this movie, which is what you want in an action movie, especially a Van Damme action movie. And they get some info. They find out that the bad guys are on the ship where the girl and Jeffrey Lewis are. And pretty much here you get a lot of more ass kicking. Alex is fighting this guy who has these spurs on, so they kick and stretching up his arms, and he's hiding in the shadows, and Van Damme like punches something and just punches the shadow, bloodying his fucking nose up. The Chad character gets a great fight with Bolo Yeung. Best fight of the movie, definitely. I mean, it's the fight that has the most screen time. It's the best, to me, the best part of the movie is sort of the rematch between Van Damme and Bolo Yeung. And really well done. Bolo Yeung, still built like a brick shit house, still has a great presence to him, even has a cool scar. Which, hell, that scar looks better than the scar in Terminator Genisys of that John Connor. And this is probably made with the catering budget of Terminator Genisys. But yet the fucking scar Bolo Yeung has looks a hell lot better. Looks 30 times better. How does that work? And I like that Bolo Yeung's character, he's using these barrels to try to beat the fuck out of Van Damme. There's one where Van Damme kicks a barrel and hurts his leg. He jumps over, then walks behind Bolo Yeung, who throws the barrel behind him. Gets behind Bolo Yeung. When he turns, pow, punches him. And before that, a little bit of good back and forth, and then Van Damme just unleashing those kicks and those helicopter kicks, just really well done with the angles and the editing, to the point where he just fucks up Bolo Yeung, electrocutes his ass. There's gasoline barrels around. Van Damme runs, jumps, explosions, great shit. And then Alice, gets to his woman. He fights this. One of the bad guys is a woman, having to fight her, having to smack her, tries to stab him and stabs her. They get them. They pretty much have to split up to get the two big bad guys. The Chad character and the girl, like the Alice character goes after Zane. Chad gets Alice's girl, and they go after Griffith. And again, they're both I like that they're both pretty different deaths, where the Zane character, get way up top, tries to stab Alex, and there's these deers, and he takes the guy's hand and goes right through the deers, fucks up the guy's hand, then leaves his ass there. And the guy tries to go, "Oh, I'll give you anything." And Alex goes, "What about my father? What about my father?" And the deer start up again. He just falls his ass out. It doesn't just fall, but there's a bunch of boxes. You just see the body, boom, go right through the boxes. And then you have the Griffith character who is in a shipyard. There's this big crate, and he's pushing this big crate to push Van Damme into the water. And he's able to swim back, get behind the controls. He's like, "Griffith!" Drops the big crate right on the fucker's face. And then they get together, the twins hug, their family. Alex hugs his girl. Jeffrey Lewis is alive. And, Van Damme does this, and end credits. This is, again, an shitty DVD. I don't even know if this is on Blu-ray. Even if it is, there'd be no point, because I know there's no features on it. It's a lame cover. It's the laziest fucking cover. Just a picture of him from the Bolo Yeung fight. Only a trailer, and that's it. But I got into the plot. I like the idea of twins battling these guys. It's a buddy movie, but it's with twins, and it's Van Damme playing both roles. I thought he played both of them well. They were both different characters, which is the simple change of looks. Personalities were different as well. I thought Van Damme actually did a really good job acting wise. It was nice to see Bolo Yeung there again. I mean, I would say he has more of a character in Bloodsport, but because he's just really the big henchman here. He probably has more screen time in Bloodsport, but it was still nice to see Bolo Yeung in there. Jeffrey Lewis, he was good as Uncle Frank. I thought he was likable. He did just fine. It's my favorite role of his. This is my favorite film Sheldon Lettich has directed. Maybe because I do really like The Order as well. So I don't know. And I do like Lionheart, so it's tough to pick. A lot of plentiful action sequences, fight scenes. When the gunplay, this practical bullet squibs, pretty decently bloody. It's definitely an R-rated film. Decent score. This is another film I don't really have much problems with it. No problems with it at all. Again, this is another film I really enjoy. I think it's a great Van Damme flick, Double Impact. And really good fights, especially the fight between him and Bolo Yeung. I think it's the best part of the movie. But yeah, this is a really solid Van Damme film. I don't know how much it made or if it did well or whatever, but Double Impact's definitely one of Van Damme's better. I'm a big fan of Van Damme, so there's a lot of flicks he's done, especially back in the day, that I really enjoy. But Double Impact is definitely up there. Again, like I said at the beginning, this review really says it best. Slam bang action, Double Impact delivers the goods. And it's an entertaining film. It's a fun movie. But that's my review of Double Impact. Thanks for watching. Take care. And we will see you in the next Van Damme movie review. Later.